guys, today I'm going to show you how to create my Ariana Grande illustration using Procreate. So let's go ahead and open the app. On the screen I have the dimensions for the canvas I am using for this illustration. Next, we add the photo and we can adjust the photo as we like. Here I am adjusting it to use it horizontal. Then I always bring down the opacity of the picture to be able to see more clear what I am doing. Now I am creating a layer on top of the picture. We should never draw directly on the picture because we could erase the picture. I always look for a similar skin color and I don't pick it directly from the photo because it can give me a really dark color that doesn't look good. Then I make sure I have the syrup brush. You can find it under the inking brushes. That's the one I like using, but you can test different ones and choose the one you prefer for your style. Now, I am going to draw all the way through the edge of her face. When you close the shape, you can drag the color and drop it inside the shape you just did to fill in. Next, we are going to add a layer on top of the photo but below the one we just did for her face. Here, I am going to draw the rest of her skin for her body, and I always like going a little bit darker to create dimension. Don't forget to close to be able to fill in correctly. Now I am adding a layer on top of everything we have been doing for now, and here we are going to be drawing the details for her face, like the eyeliners, eyebrows, and eyelashes. All this is in the same layer. If you enjoyed this kind of videos, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. For the hair, I am creating a new layer on top of all the layers I have for now and just go with the motion of her hair. now to the shadows of her face. I do this by picking the same color I used to draw her face, but I go a little bit darker every time I add a new layer for shadows. As you can see here, every time I add a new layer for shadows, I bring the color a little bit darker. I use a different layer for every part of the eye, and remember, as you add layers on top of each other, this is the same order that you are going to be able to see in the illustration. For the lips, I am adding shadows and highlights. For the shadows, I pick the color of the lips and bring it down a little darker. For the highlights, I bring it up to a lighter tone. tattoos, a good tip is to bring down the opacity of the layer you draw the tattoos on, and it can make it look more realistic in the illustration. For the details of her cloth, I am changing the brush and I am using this one under the painting brushes. I am clipping the layer to the one below, which is her cloth. This will give me freedom to paint, but it's going to stick to the inside of the shape of the layer below. So whatever I paint is not going to get out of that shape. Now I am adding highlights to her hair. Remember, to create highlights, use the same color of the hair but bring it up to a lighter tone. Now I am working on her makeup, and for this I am going to be using the soft brush. You can find it under the airbrush in brushes. Here, I brought down the opacity of the layer and I went ahead and I also added highlights to her skin using the same soft brush. Last, just change the background color, going to the background layer and pick a color to your liking. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video. See you in my next illustration. Bye!